Hello and welcome. My name's Marie and this is my yarn journey. Hope you are well and that you are relaxing with some crafting while you're watching. I've got a hazelnut latte in my new mug that I picked up at Morrison's, and I've been eyeing it up for a while and just thought, you know what, I just like it, I'm going to get it. Hopefully I can drink this before it goes cold, because it is delicious. I've not got lots of different knitting to talk to you about today. I have done quite a bit of knitting, but I have been knitting quite heavily. I'm going to show you a finished object, but once that was off my needles, there was a project that I was working on that is secret, so I can't show it on here, but I've made quite a lot of progress on it. A little bit concerned that I might run out of yarn, so I need to decide what I'm going to do with that and whether it's going to be too big, but fingers crossed it all works out fine. So shall we move on to my finished object? And it is the Salty Days. I've done this in a John Arbon yarn. It is apple door. I've used the DK and the lace weight. It's colour quench. It's still a little bit damp. Seems to be a running theme, doesn't it? But this time of year in the UK, things just take ages to dry. Now, it's quite prickly, this yarn. If you can't tolerate prickly yarns, this is not going to be for you without a top under. It's definitely softened up, like I say, with blocking, like most things are. I'm pretty pleased with how it's turned out. It's a great one for beginners, this, because most of the sections are relatively straightforward laces and cables, and then the majority is actually ribbing. So if you can see, the sleeve is mainly ribbing. The only thing I would say is that the only part that caused me a few tiny issues, and maybe I should have gone, when I picked this up again, I should have maybe gone back and watched her video and gone to that part, is these, I don't know if you can see, but these triangular sections. And the points at which it crossed over there, I found it quite confusing. The chart didn't match up with how you're supposed to do it, especially if you were using the markers like I do. So when I've done one of my sleeves, it has actually gone a bit awry, as it were, but I don't think it looks too bad, and it's on the end of the sleeve. I didn't even realise until I got onto the second one that I'd made the mistake. Because I'm very new to doing lace knitting or anything like that. I've done cables before, but lace knitting I am quite new to and not used to. I can't read my knitting very easily. Sorry, the fluffy's getting all over me. So I didn't realise when I'd done the first section, this section on the first sleeve, that I had done it wrong, really. Anyways, the neck turned out beautifully. I did that the same way I'd done the one on the porcelain, but obviously with the half twisted rib and to the lengths in this pattern. I would say that the neckline at the moment is really tight. It's not tight getting on off my head, it's got a good stretch, but it's like when it's sat round my neck, and with this being quite itchy, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have to find a top that I can wear under it, but I wouldn't really want the top to be showing outside the neckline because this is already high. And I'll put in the I took some B-roll footage, that's why I'm kind of itching all over. And it might be that this softens up over time. Sorry, I can see an end that I've not sewn in very well there, and it's showing on the right side. But overall, it's definitely been a good learning experience. I love the colour of this yarn. I just wish it was slightly softer. I can imagine that this is going to become cosy. At least it has got a bit of a drape now. It's more fitted than I was expecting. And just let me check what size I did in the pattern, because I thought I'd hit gauge with this. But when you leave projects for a long time, it's hard to remember, isn't it? So let's have a look. Okay, so on my project page on Ravelry, I haven't put very good notes at all. So I haven't really told myself it all. I had put the needle size, which is quite a bonus, but I hadn't really put anything about my gauge. So, you know, I can't really say unless I check it now, but it's an after block gauge. What size did I do? Let me just check that for you. I think I did the second size. It might be the third one. I'm presuming my gauge was off. I've done something else of hers before, a couple of patterns, and I don't think my gauge is massively away from hers. But obviously in this case it's been enough to mean that this is much more snug fit. So let me just find this pattern, sorry. I have all my patterns on my iPad and I use Good Notes. I don't know if I've said that before. And I love it because it's like having your, you know, I'm nearly 45 now, 45 tomorrow. So, you know, when I started knitting, it was all paper patterns and everything. But what I like about having it on my iPad, and I've got a pencil for my iPad, oh, I've put it, I can write on it like I used to with the paper patterns, but I've got none of the paper all around, and also you can look back on it quite easily then. Right, let me just check what size I've done. So yeah, I've done the second size. Now I have accurate bust measurements because I've been doing my exercise and taking measurements for that, because I hadn't done my bust measurement for a while. Now in inches, which is what I've measured my bust in, size 2, it says should come out at 44 inches. Well, 44.75. And when I measured my bust, last time it was 38. There's no way that it's got 9 inches of things, so my gauge must have been off. I put a note on the pattern here to say just about made gauge on recommended needles. So that says to me that I probably wasn't meeting gauge. I reckon it's only got a couple of inches of positive eases, but you'll have seen the B-roll, so you'll see that. Anyway, it was a long time ago I casted this on, and I've learnt a lot since then. You know, I feel like I've come on leaps and bounds this year with my knitting and learning about my own knitting. But yeah, I'll put a picture up of the Salty Days, and if you look, the sleeves are supposed to be much longer, a bit looser. The body's supposed to be a bit looser, but I think the size that she would recommend for me, just let me check. So she says choose a size that is 15 to 20 centimetres or 6 to 8 inches bigger than your bust circumference for a relaxed and slightly overfit size. Look. Now the 44 would have given me about 6 inches, but I don't feel that it's given me that at all. It certainly doesn't look like hers looks like in the photo. But that is probably a gauge issue. But it's, yeah, looking back and at what you've done before, and then it's always quite interesting, but it does keep making me think, don't don't leave these things on the needle so long like this. Anyway, that was a bit of a ramble, but you've seen that sweater a few times recently, and there's not a lot to say about it, other than I really, really wish that yarn was softer, because I love the colour of it. I've put all the time and effort into it, but I know now, for me, I will not buy that yarn again. It's just too scratchy, and I want sweaters that I can... That one, to be fair, with the open lace, I probably need a top under it anyway, but it would be nice if I could just wear a vest top, because that makes it easy. I've got basic vest tops and I could wear one under absolutely fine, but I don't think I'm going to get away with that because the neckline is so tight, and I'm very sensitive around this area where my collarbone is. So I need to basically find a top I can wear under that that's going to be stop the scratching, because I don't want to not wear it. I've put all the time and effort into it, you know. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions, let me know. Or maybe I need to... No, let's not even go down there. I'm not knitting something. Got too many other things to be knitting, haven't I? So like I say, once I'd finished that this week, I have been just knitting on my secret project. And the only other thing I have worked on a bit, and I'll just show it here. I know I've got the standalone video, but there's not a lot to really show you this week, so I thought I'd just show this here, as I've not done for a while. And this is the Colourwork cut sock, and I'm not that far now off doing the toe, and that I was working on last weekend after the podcast. So now I'm going to talk about, let me have a sip of my brew before I do. I'm going to talk about my yarn ins and outs. I was working out the figures before I started recording today, and I was quite happily surprised and shocked that my minus figure for this month, and it is a minus figure so far, is more than what came in from Yarndale. So that's pretty good, isn't it? Anyway, so some of these you've already heard about, but I will just recap where we're up to so far in the month. We're about, just over the midway point. So I got my Kinross 4-ply, which I ordered after Yarndale. I got my Patreon yarns, which I'll just show you now. So I've got the 3 minis, and I'll try and hold them up in a way that you can see them. Most of these will go into my blanket, but I've not started that yet. I think this is the 3rd or the 4th month I've got. And this is called Secret Vampire Club Ash and Cider. And yeah, they're going to go into my incredible blanket. I need to actually wind some of them up. I'll just hand wind them, but so I can start adding them in, because I think that'll be quite nice to do. And I might actually do that later today, so that I can put them in my blanket tomorrow. Seeing it's my birthday tomorrow, I'm going to be knitting on whatever I fancy. Okay, so, and this is a sock set. Hope you can see. I really like this one. I can't wait to knit this main colour up into a pair of socks, and obviously with the purple as well, because I love purple. Oh, this is the homespun house. I'm not sure I said that. This is called Candy Corn Cauldron. What a fab name, eh? These yarns are lovely and soft. I just wish my salty days was nice and soft like that. How do you find an in-between yarn, eh? I suppose that's what my stripe pipe is really, isn't it? So, and then my out for the month was the porcelain sweater, which was 570 grams, and the salty days, which was 565. So far for this month, I've got 1,135 grams out, leaving me with a minus figure so far of 685 grams. So I'm pretty pleased with that. One thing to note is that I had a notification, and I'm hoping one of you or some of you who watch this can relate to this. Had an email confirming an order I forgot I'd even done, and it was a pre-order, and I think it's called West Green Yarns, maybe. I've been eyeing up her colours for a long time. I was very tempted with the Advent, but I'd already I bought the Fibre Fox Advent and the Blue Fern Yarn 4-weekly one. So I knew I didn't want, and there was a few that tempted me, and I knew that I did not want to buy more than 2 Advents. So yeah, I'm trying to be really strict to that. Hopefully, well, I don't want to say this, but maybe next year just 1. I don't want too many because I won't be able to make them into wearable garments, and I do like to challenge myself to do that. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. I got this notification anyway saying that yeah, I'd pre-ordered the Christmas Eve box, which I'd totally forgotten about. But I've been eyeing her colours for quite some time. Like I say, I did eye up the Advent, but I resisted that. There was a few Advents that I really would have liked. Lots of good ones this year. But after seeing, like I say, the Fibre Fox one last year, I wanted to get that. Are you getting an Advent this year? Who did you decide to go with? Are you getting 1? Are you getting 2? Are you getting 10? I'm not sure I could cope with 10. And the cost would be pretty hefty, wouldn't it? But each to their own. Some people might just like knitting all year with Advent yarns. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Bit of a ramble about Advents. What I was trying to say is I have ordered and forgotten I've ordered the Christmas Eve box from West Green as well. I'll put a name on here because I get a bit tongue-tied with which order the words are in. So put her name on the screen, her company name. She is a Scottish dyer. She has a beautiful setting for where she dyes yarn. I mean, and her colourways are very, very pretty. Quite a lot of pales with speckles, and you know, real up my street. But she has this absolutely beautiful studio in her garden, and she walks out with stunning views to her dye studio, and yeah, it just looks idyllic. So anyway, this is the first time I've ordered from her. I have been following her for a while, and I decided to get the Christmas Eve box, and I had a notification the other day and I'd totally forgotten I'd ordered it. I can't even remember what's coming in it or anything. So that's going to be nice when that arrives, and I'm thinking that's going to be here next week. So that will be part of my ins and outs for this month. Also, it's my birthday tomorrow. Now, I did put a few yarns on my list, and I'll just tell you what I picked. I might not get these, I don't know, because I don't know what anyone's bought me. But we do birthday lists in our family to help, you know, for people to know what to get you. But you never know if you're going to get something off it or not. So let me tell you what yarns I put on. As you can imagine, my list has quite a few knitting things. I did put on some Progress Keepers that I liked. I also put on some books as well. But the yarns that I picked, excuse me, Rama Fivel. And I put down a quantity of Rama Fivel. That Rama, is it Rama Fivel? That is something I heard about on the Creabea podcast, and I thought it's not one I've tried, and I am looking to try a few different commercial yarns now, Cascade being another one that I want to try, because I want a few more solids and tonals, and I think it's just a bit more economical getting the commercial yarns. So she's been raving about Rama, so I thought I'd give that one a try, and I've put down the quantity that would be enough to make the Christmas Day sweater that I've mentioned, which, the way time's ticking on, might be Christmas 2025 rather than 2024, but you know, it'll be done eventually. The other yarn that I put on my list is the Drops Cotton Merino, and I put a quantity on that would be able to be held with the yarn that I've already got in stash, and I'll tell you what it is to make, because I've got it on my queue. Now, it's the Late Summer Dream Tea by Siv Kristen Olsen. So it's a brushed alpaca silk, which I've got in the light lavender colour in stash, and I think I've got enough in stash for this. And then you hold it with the Drops Cotton Merino. And yeah, I'll put the picture up on the screen, and it just caught my eye. I just thought it's more of an open neck. It's quite a big gauge. It's 13 stitch gauge. It's classed as bulky weight, but I'm not sure that's quite right what Ravelry's working out there. And it's done in fisherman's rib, which I have done before. And compared to brioche, I think that's a lot easier. So yeah, I just thought it was a bit different. Something else for me to try. It just caught my eye, and I thought, with me already having that in stash and not knowing what to do with it, if I just get the yarn to go with it, then I'm using up some stash. So I think they were the only two yarns that I put on my list. I did have a few other things: books, a new Swift, some needle stoppers, project bags, all that sort of thing. A lot of knitty related stuff. So I've not 100% decided what I'm going to cast on tomorrow. I am going to do a new cast on for my birthday, I think. I'm quite busy. I'm out for breakfast, and then with my family, my brother and his wife and daughter, and my mum, and then me and my partner Dwayne are going out for a meal in the evening, which will be lovely. We haven't done that for a while. So I don't think I'll be getting much time for knitting, but hopefully I will get time to cast on. So what I am going to do is wind up some of this beautiful yarn, because I thought, what better birthday treat than to cast on my absolute favourite yarn and yarn dyer. This actual base I've not used before, but I just wish, you know what, if this sweater and this colour felt like this, I'd be in heaven. Unfortunately it doesn't. It's all part of the learning curve of being a knitter, isn't it? Anyway, this is Isla yarns. You've heard me talk about it before. I absolutely love her yarns and her colourways. And this one is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk and 10% cashmere, so a lovely luxurious yarn. It's in the colourway Rose Quartz, and I've got 7 of these. And I thought, this is for the Calm Down cardigan. And what I thought was, I'm really craving some nice stockinette. Now I know that the stone, I don't think I got it out, but I've mentioned that possibly it would be the stone crop I would be casting on. But that is another Colourwork pattern. So I thought I need a bit of something different, and I've been dying to use this yarn, so I thought I would give this a go. So I'm going to wind this up later, and then I can cast on my Calm Down cardigan. I may have one, I may have two, I may have three cast-ons, who knows. But I have been really good recently with getting stuff off my needles. Let me just tell you actually what I've got left on my needles at the moment. There's one thing as well that I'm thinking I might just frog, because I don't know, what's the point of having things hanging around if you're just not knitting on them? If you don't knit on something for 12 months, are you going to actually come back to it, and then is your gauge going to be the same? I don't know. So let's have a look what's on my project. So I've got the Winter Star mittens, which I'm still at the exact same stage, unfortunately. I'm missing a thumb and I haven't finished the other ones. I've got my Nuss Light, which I can't even remember where I'm up to with that one, but it's probably going to be after Christmas that I get back to that now. Yeah. I've got my Daft Days cardigan, which you've seen, and I do want to crack on and get that finished at some point soon, despite the issues I'm having with it. I've got my incredible blanket, I've got the OLE mittens, I've got my underlace top, which I'm waiting to block. That might actually be, and I know this sounds crazy, but I'm actually tempted to frog that underlace top and start again. Is that madness? Get my size right and my gauge right and everything. I'm so tempted to frog that. I'm also tempted to frog my OLE mittens. I don't want that underlace top to be something that I just finish for the sake of finishing and then don't wear. I really love the yarn. It's really soft. It's knit up lovely. And is it worth me just frogging it and starting again in the new year, or even repurposing the yarn for another pattern? I don't know, but I do like the way that Lily Kate structures her patterns. It's just that is supposed to be a bit more fitted, and I'm not used to, not that I'm not used to it, but I've not really worn a lot of fitted garments. I don't know, I'm just rambling now about it, aren't I? But yeah, there's those two that I'm thinking I might, because the OLE mittens, I've had them on my needles for absolutely ages and I'm just not getting on with them, and I'm not really sure what to do. What should I do with that yarn as well? I've got 200 grams of that in total. I love the colour and everything, but is it the right yarn for those mittens? Those two projects I'm really up in the air with, and I've got my advertenance. So for me, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I've got 7 projects on the needles, 2 are blankets, so I don't really count them. So I've got 6 projects. I am going to obviously have a 1 or 2 birthday cast-ons, but then I'm not sure what to do going forward really. I have also got my gift knit on the needles, which is a Musselburgh, but that's a gift knit, so I do feel that's a bit different. And my secret project. My secret project, I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through. I've got a deadline for that, obviously, but I don't think that's going to take me long. At the moment, it's at a really good point because it's just stockinette in the round. So I probably will be knitting on that while I'm editing. And I'm wondering if I get to the end of my yarn and I'll know whether I need to order any more or not. We shall see. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about, you know, update you on what's still on my needles, and get some advice really. The OLE mittens, I've literally only knit a small section of those. And it's like, I don't really know where I'm up to. Well, I do know where I'm up to with them. It's just that I'm up to a point where I was confused in the pattern. Maybe if I went back now and looked at the pattern. But I just don't feel the urge to work on them. It's hard, isn't it? At the moment, I am just enjoying working on the secret project because at the end of the day, how many times have I said secret project in this video? But yeah, I'm just working on that because it's stockinette in the round and I'm very much enjoying it, which is why I'm thinking that doing the calm down cardigan next might be an ideal nice knit stockinette, but a bit more engaging because there will be shaping and everything and the construction of a cardigan. The only other cardigan I've knit since I've been back knitting is the Daft Days, which is not finished yet. And you know I've had a few issues with that. So, plans for upcoming videos. I don't think, with it being my birthday weekend and being quite busy and everything, I'm just going to have a chill one. I'm not sure there's going to be a video on Sunday. Next Friday will be a what I knit in a week, I think, because and I'm gonna start it from after this video, so I'll do it from now and then till probably Thursday evening, and then I've got time to edit the video before I put it up Friday around 4ish. And I think that will be my next video on the channel. Unless we have a sock update, which there could potentially be a sock update on Tuesday because next week's half term, so both the boys are off and I'm only doing a couple of clients. I had booked the week out, but I've had to just slot in a couple of clients, but other than that we're just going to have a chilled week and I'll probably get plenty of knitting done, so I thought it's an ideal week for me to do what I knit in a week, a sort of vlog style video. And I don't think there's much more to say really. It's definitely sweater weather now around here. So whatever you're doing, have a lovely, lovely evening and weekend. And I hope you get lots of crafting done. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!